the table, all with escalating clauses and appraisal gap funding and all this kind of great stuff on it, and it just blew my mind. Right? It just went. So, that was actually, yeah. So that was just before all this happened. So let's see what happens this weekend. Let's see how things move along. But I just don't think $4 a gallon is going to impact that kind of buyer, if that makes any sense.
Viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. Put them in the feed. We'll relay them live on air. Comments are coming in.
Yeah, sure.
And they're coming in very quickly. Can you talk about the 2-cent real estate tax rate increase that the city is considering?
Yeah, so all the jurisdictions are going through this right now.
Albemarle County is not. Same with I Love CVille, Judah. Are you keeping your eye on the feed here?
I'm checking it now.
Okay. You got to be proactive there.
So,
go ahead.
So all the jurisdictions are going through the budget process, right? They're going through staff wanting more money, schools wanting more money. They're going through where are we at with our appraisals, our assessments, where we're going to be at with our rates. I think to speak about the city of Charlottesville, we're not there yet. All of these jurisdictions are not there yet. That's why this roundtable we're having on the 20th with three chairmen, Albemarle County, Fluvanna County, and Nelson County, I'm pretty confident this topic is going to come up in the conversation with it. So, will a 2% tax increase actually translate into dollars to property owners? That's yet to be determined, because the budget has a lot to do with this. You and I have talked about this a gazillion times. Budgets don't tend to go down, but they could tweak their budget and make the average property owner kind of net zero, not gaining in dollar amount, not losing in dollar amount of what they're paying. I think the county that's going to have the hardest time to do it is my home county, by the way, which is Fluvanna, because it has not done its property assessments this year. So it's using last year's property assessments. So it doesn't have the opportunity to go ahead and increase that pool, that part of the triangle that makes this dollar amount, this amount that you actually pay, increase. But anyway, it's kind of premature to talk about it a little bit.
The city of Charlottesville is considering a 2-cent real estate tax rate increase. Sam Sanders presented this this past week to councilors based on 9 priorities or 9 goals councilors have tasked the city manager with. He said collective bargaining across the board has made things more expensive. He said road maintenance across the board has made things more expensive. Assessments, while up, they are not up to the level that they have been in years past. And sales tax collection tied to meals, lodging, and retail are flat. And as a result, he's suggesting a 2-cent real estate tax rate increase for Charlottesville homeowners, which will absolutely impact Charlottesville renters as well. Interesting time to be doing this for Sam Sanders.
So, do you know what the proposed cent tax rate is for Greene County?
The real estate tax rate increase?
Yeah.
For Greene County?
You know what the county administrator is proposing?
Tell me.
I learned this last night. 9 cents.
A 9-cent increase.
Which is just ridiculous. I think, frankly, that was just a number thrown out for I don't know what reason. I know maybe Neil can share in on it, but a 9-cent proposed increase is insane. That's I don't even know if they can legally do it go that high. But anyway, 9 cents. It's probably thrown out there to renegotiate it back down. But Greene County threw out a 9-cent. The county administrator in her proposed budget threw out a 9-cent increase. The point is that may get everybody all riled up, but we
should get people riled up.
But we don't know where the budget is, right? Because the budget isn't done yet, and that 9 cent is just they're obligated to throw out what they propose to be.
Angie Shoup just put that in the feed. 9-cent increase for Greene County.
Yeah. Well, it's proposed. it's going to get negotiated down, right? It's surely.
Any real viewers and listeners, put your hands in the air and wave them around if you just don't care. Any real estate tax rate increase in this economic climate seems to be financial malpractice.
So, is it?
Cut from the budget. Don't increase the budget.
And I think that's going to be impossible to do because
Nothing's impossible.
I think politically it's going to be impossible. Most of these jurisdictions are getting hit from the state big time, negative numbers, because mostly wrapped around schools, right? Was it total of 15% less in Nelson County students than it was in 2019, excuse me. My county, it's roughly 8%. And that directly impacts how the county receives the money. But this conversation is exactly the conversation I've kind of teed up for the 20th with these chair folks from each one of these jurisdictions. Keep in mind, we'll have Nelson, Fluvanna, and Albemarle County here, and we're going to talk. Of course, this is going to come up. It's budget season, but it won't settle at 9. God only knows what it's going to be, but it won't be 9 cents up. But they have a lot of high-level CIP projects they need to run through, and how do you pay for those things? CIP is capital improvement projects, for those that may not know. So where is that money going to come from? I mean, my county, 91% of, because I wrote that down from last night, 91% of the local budget, the local revenue, comes from rooftops. Right, so that's not roughly 9%, 10% for lack of just round things up a little bit is coming from commercial.
Michael Pruitt, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, Michael,
we appreciate
good to see
you,
you
Michael Pruitt. Richard Fox, this is right up your alley. Richard Fox. Bob Seffick, this is right up your alley. James Watson, Brittany Slaughter, comms for John McGuire watching the show. We appreciate you, Brittany. Viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. Don Gathers, what are your thoughts on this, Don Gathers? What are your thoughts on a 2-cent real estate tax rate increase, Don Gathers, in the city of Charlottesville? That's where you live,
So
Mr.
the question
Gathers.
is what was the proposed budget?
$270-some million.
And what was it? What increase is that versus last year?
13%.
Yeah, and
Obscene.
yeah, so it's a double-edged sword, right? So you're increasing your budget, you're increasing your rate, and you're increasing. It's a triangle. You're increasing your assessment, and then at the end of the day, it translates to that where the commitment that certain, and I think Albemarle County is going to get there, is to try to make this net zero, so it isn't really increasing the individual. Some people will be up, some people will be down, but on average, that they're not paying the same amount of cash out. So it's a lot of work.
Albemarle County is not increasing the real estate tax rate.
It's not, and I believe it's also trying to. But Albemarle County is a unique animal, right?
They do their assessments every year.
And they've got this huge
Tax base tied to real estate, residential.
and they got this huge amount of cash that's going to be coming in down the road. It's a whole different.
What are you talking, AstraZeneca?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So they got a whole different. They got all this income that's going to be coming down the road. You got to look at that, right? They got income coming in from these.
I don't.
things.
When I'm building my models, I don't take into consideration income from 36 months from now.
I understand that. But they have to look at what income they got coming in for future stuff. They also handle their budgets a little bit different than what we do budgets on for individual businesses. But at the end of the day, I think you're going to see Albemarle County probably be around net zero. Fluvanna County will be an increase. There will be an increase in how much cash I pay. And that's because we're working off of 1-year-old data as far as assessments go. In Fluvanna County, wait until next year. Wait until they reassess next year. You're going to have a really hard time fighting your reassessments because the market is just there, right? The assessments have to equal or should equal what the market rate is for the home, and it's going to be really hard to fight that. And but for this year, look for, I think you're going to be seeing a little bit more cash out of your pocket in Fluvanna County. This is my guess at the moment.
But still, the market chugs along.
Look, I'm looking at what's sold in the last 7 days. It's the buyer, we're talking about real estate market.
Oh, yeah.
The buyer pool is still super deep. And there's enough money moving in here, enough ability to buy. I think, and I didn't break it down, but I'm really tracking this million plus sales, right? I'm really starting to track that a little bit more than I did in the past. I think you're going to see that market increase here, but it's, the middle and the lower end, it's just going to be constantly beat up. It's just going to be really hard for that market to be competitive and perform well and find something to buy.
How's Lake Monticello doing?
Lake Monticello's doing good. I haven't looked at it in the last couple of days, but things are trading back and forth. We're in a normal rhythm, I think, out there. Homes coming on, going off. Look, if you're at the point that you're ready to put a house on the market, even though the tempo is picking up, it has to be the right feature. It's got to be in the right location, right price. That's done for sure. But condition and features matter. Buyers are just not going to buy if the home doesn't meet the features they're looking for, and it isn't in the condition. Even at 5% interest rates, folks want to buy something that is renovated. I'll give you an example. The client that I'm working with that's in this 1 million plus market literally does not want to look at anything that has to be renovated. Not that they can't do it, but they don't want to do it at that price point. They want to move into something that's been updated.
If somebody's looking at something that it's $1 million and they don't want to spend any money on renovation, good luck.
100%. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Because the client that wants to spend $1 million and doesn't want to spend a single cent on renovation, go to Augusta County or Rockingham County.
And that's a scary thought.
Yeah, because you're not going to find that in Albemarle County.
That's a scary thought, right?
Yeah.
And so if
new construction doesn't come close to $1 million.
100%. Went through that whole cycle with this client. Let's go find a thing. Let's go find that. We went through the math, and it's got a 2 handle in it.
Yeah.
By the time you acquire the property.
I mean, if you're buying something at $1.5 million, you're going to be putting money into reno at $1.5 million. There's homes in Ivy, Albemarle County. There's homes all over Albemarle County right now that are listed at $1.5 million that you're going to be putting thousands of dollars of renovation into.
It's very interesting because it used to be specific locations that would work. It is now more, I'm talking south of town.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know.
And generally that's not a normal price point for south of town. So it's going to be, when we run the numbers, for the end of 2025, when we do in the beginning of next year for 26, I think you're going to see those lines really split between the $1 million and up. I mean, Albemarle County had a 23% increase year over year with $1 million plus, and that's going to keep on growing. But
Jeff Gaffney, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeff,
Ray Cadell, welcome to the
Great
show.
show, by the way,
Barbara
Jeff.
Bosick, welcome to the show. And I'll tell you what, if you're Matt Neese, if you're considering buying a house, and you continue to wait on the sidelines, just some friendly advice for you.
it's just going to get more expensive.
Biotechnology is going to shift this real estate market into a price point category of expensive that Albemarle County has never seen before.
Oh, it's not.
Get ready and giddy up. You wait, the more you wait, the more you will pay. Yeah. You're only doing your family a disservice.
And start.
24 months from now, this market's going to look very different than right now.
It looks very different than it did 24 months ago.
It's going to be much more costly.
I'm working with 6 first-time home buyers right now, which I absolutely love. And I think the reality of what you just outlined is starting to hit them, right? They're starting to realize they're upside down with rent. They're losing money in rent. And, we're now looking in Stanton, right? We're looking at areas that are very much so considerable drive from downtown Charlottesville.
The folks that are looking in Stanton, do they work in Charlottesville?
Yeah.
$4 gas.
Yeah. Well,
if you work in Stanton, live in Stanton and work in Charlottesville, that will ravage their budget.
So as I said earlier, the $4 gas will impact the people that want to travel over the hill.
I mean, that's insanity.
Yeah. Well, what you'll also see is, maybe if it's really protracted and longer than a few weeks or a month or something along those lines, you'll start seeing some of the folks backing off on going back to a little bit more remote work for the folks that can do that. And these folks that I am showing are doing hybrid. right? So what'll happen is they'll probably just dial up their remote work and dial back their going into the office. But there has to be a long-term, quite a substantial amount of time of $4 worth to get. And we're not even at 4 yet, right? We're at 3.
We're at 3. We're sniffing 350.
Yeah. So we got a whole, and who knows, by the end of the weekend it could be. Who knows?
I mean, Trump literally now is saying to the world that the only way this war with Iran will stop is an unconditional surrender from Iran.
Yeah.
That they will take nothing else but an unconditional surrender from Iran so that Trump and the United States government can reimagine and remake the country as they see fit.
Well,
Literally just said that to the entire world, the president.
yeah. Well, as you know, this is rather personal to me, so I've lost a lot of friends in '83, and a very dear friend of mine, I wear hearing aids because of Hezbollah. So,
Do you have a take on the war on Iran? Should the United States be at war with Iran?
like I just told you, this is very personal for me. So this is not the format for me to talk about.
Okay.
That, right.
Okay.
This is extremely personal. When you get blown up by them, it's very personal.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to step away from it and
Sure.
let it manage it. But
'Cause your opinion matters. Your commentary matters.
Yeah. This one I can't get. It's very. Lost very dear friends of mine.
You don't understand what we're doing here.
Pardon?
You don't understand what we're doing here is what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I just say this is very personal to
Okay.
me, and my opinion would be filtered through that personal opinion.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate that. We can leave that aside. Angie is saying this, unless you want to talk about it. Angie is saying most of the folks here in Greene County want to know why there's so much growth here with new builds and proffers, yet the residents continue to have a difficult time with their budget. I know we have to pay for the new reservoir, but that's a lot. I already cannot sell my house for the current assessment.
Yeah. So the reason you have so many new houses there is because of your subdivision ordinances and your by right use, and this is where the market is going. And we've been talking about Greene County forever, but you're going to see somewhere between 1,200 to 2,000
2,000 homes.
new homes.
Yeah.
In the next probably 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's it. That ship has sailed, and it is.
That's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
You also got, I believe it was a 4% decrease in student population in the school system. So you're paying for all this stuff, and you're having less income coming in. But that ship has sailed. The Greene County is the new construction mecca of our area, and it will be for a long
Which is
long time.
genius, because it's genius for the developers and the builders. That's right next to where the
just went-
biotechnology is happening.
They just went where the market is.
Yeah.
I've said this at the end of last year, and it'll continue this year. The real estate market will go where the inventory is. It's that simple.
Follow the builders.
Oh yeah, we've been saying that forever, right? You always track.
You taught me that.
You track the builders, the national builders. They've got their fingers on the pulse of this stuff better than anybody. But the overall real estate market is going to go where the inventory is right now. That may change in 12 to 24 months, but at the moment, that is where it is. And at the moment, the inventory is in Greene County. That's where it's going. Prices are increasing. They will continue to increase. When you take a look at, if you want to go back and look at the assessment I did at the beginning of this year for the end of 2025, most of the growth in price point is in new construction. And here's a little twist on that. So think of Greene County as a whole subdivision, because you got roughly 1,500 to 2,000 years going. You know who's going to get impacted the most in value? Is the existing homes.
Oh.
It's a classic subdivision thing, right? If you move into a subdivision and you're the first one to buy and you have to sell before the builders finish building, you are never, just take a look at Spring Creek, right? Try to sell an existing home in Spring Creek when you've got all these new construction units come up, because the buyer is just going to go, well, hold it, for the same price, I can buy something brand new, get everything that I want on it. So, this is a unique twist of my silly builder developer brain, But
Love your brain.
But you're going to see, I bet you when we run an assessment at the end of this year, because it's already there, you're going to see existing homes in Greene County's value, if not decrease, stay flat, where new construction will be continuing to climb, because that's where the buyer wants to go. They're willing to spend more money for less square footage for something new. Anyway, that's my take on that.
Viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. Put them in the feed. We'll relay them live on air to Keith Smith of Real Talk with Keith Smith. Albemarle County still the driver of the market?
Yeah, it is, because it's purely volume, right? It's the largest volume transactions, right? It happens. I think you're going to see a lot more $1 million plus handle sales in Albemarle County than you did last year, and you're going to start seeing the rest of the county start moving up on it. And the first time home buyer, is just going to have to drive, right? Drive till they qualify, fly till they qualify on it. But on the RAND thing, I've lost a very, 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 very close friends to Hezbollah, so I just really need to keep my opinion.
Totally understand, Keith. Absolutely, totally understand. And we kept it to gas prices.
Yeah. So anyway, what I will tell you is, regardless of your opinion on it, pray for the folks at the Marines.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question. We 6 have been lost Americans so far.
Yeah, I know what it's like to be in an embassy and have nobody come to save your ass, and you're left to defend it. So, and be on the losing end of it. So
yeah.
I know what this means.
And Keith, you're a good man.
Yeah.
Everyone that watches this program knows you're a good man.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me not to tear up, because these were very, very close friends of mine.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'll mention this to you, Keith. What you do with real estate and housing affordability and first-time home buyers should be commended.
Thank you.
Because you're in this for the right reasons, leaving the world in a better place than when you first arrived.
I'm trying to do that, right? And I'm trying to do it. And look, we've got some great success. We're almost at 60 units for, I think, 54, 55 units. I can't remember the number for the land trust, which is huge. And that's only been since 2019. So we're making a difference. And you got to show up for the fight and make it happen. People generally really want to do the right thing. Sometimes you just got to help them along a little bit and move them in the right direction.
My friend, I have learned tremendously from you.
Thank you.
I have learned not just real estate and business, but how to carry yourself. We've been doing this for 8 years.
We're about ready to start our 8th year. We're at the end of April will be the end of year number 7.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and we still like each other.
The show is booming. It's growing.
Yeah, thank you.
You are guest speaking all over the place.
I am. I have an opportunity next Friday to guest speak, so I'm trying to work on somebody to fit me on housing affordability up in D.C.
One of your favorite topics?
And how to make the land trust model work across the board, particularly with developers and builders, and how they can show up and make a difference. So I'm very blessed to be able to do that. So somebody should be sitting in my seat next Friday. We haven't quite figured out who yet.
I'm happy to help.
Thank you. But I couldn't pass up an opportunity to try to take the model that we built here in Charlottesville and grow it around the country. So let's see if we can make a difference.
And you feel very strong. You feel very confident about this market.
I do. It's interesting, yes and no. If you look at it, the whole thing, yes. As how I pay my bills and how I put my $3.50 a gallon of gas in my truck.
Driving 44 miles round trip.
Driving 44 miles round trip, not including where we're going for other stuff. I'm still excited about this market. I'm still excited that this is when the pros show up. I'm still excited that we get to help people. What I'm frustrated with is how we help folks at the entry level, how we help folks, I've got people that the maximum they can afford is $300,000, and we're trying to find them something that they can actually live in and not spend hours and hours on it. It's just not there. And the only way to fix that is inventory, right? And it's not inventory recycling existing inventory. It's new inventory. That's the only way that that's going to be able to help solve that. But I'm going to continue to do my very best.
This weekend?
I'm going to do a long ride tomorrow since it's going to be 80 degrees with my son-in-law, so I'm looking forward to that. And a bunch of paperwork. Got to catch up on a bunch of stuff. So that's it at the moment.
Yona,
Unless the phone rings.
just celebrated a birthday.
64. We met 41 years ago on her birthday in Sofia, Bulgaria, in the middle of the Soviet bloc. It was a very, very different time. But yeah, we met 41 years ago at her birthday party and been together ever since. Poor woman.
You're a lucky man, Keith.
Married me 3 times.
You're-
Did I ever tell you that story?
Yeah, you told. Let's tell it again. This is a good one.
Yeah. So, but our original wedding was in Ottawa, Canada, in 1986, on May 26th. 158 Canadian dollars. That was 2 wedding bands, a certificate, paying the minister, and a meal. And at the time, the dollar was extremely strong. It was actually like 88 cents to 1 Canadian dollar. So it was one hell of a deal. Renewed our vows for our 10th wedding anniversary. That was a 350 person. We used to call them up in New York a football wedding. We went into the firehouse. I got like 6 kegs of beer, fried chicken, a DJ, and a minister. So she remarried me a second time. And then for our 25th wedding anniversary, we did it down in Grand Costa in St. Martin on the beach. So, I remind her, I said, look, I gave you 3 times to say no. So, this is
She is loving
this
that.
is where you're at. And we're going to renew. We're going to be celebrating our 40th this year down in St. Martin. So we're excited to do that. I'm very blessed. Very blessed to wake up every morning with that young lady, and very blessed to be able to do business with her every day. Many people couldn't be married for 40 years and do business every day for 40 years.
You guys make it look easy.
Oh, I didn't say it was easy, brother. We pay a lot of money for therapy, just saying. But yeah, I'm very blessed.
Keith Smith.
Jumped
Keith
up to
Smith.
124. We're started at
Listings are
123.
moving, my friend.
No, there's new list 124. We're still at 89 at pending. But the pendings are generally a lagging indicator.
100%, yeah.
Right, because it usually takes about
To get them under contract.
Well, no. So, yes, but the time to lagging indicator what I'm looking at, right? New and actives are instant. Once you hit the active button, it goes instant. Pending, you've got 24, 48 hours to put it in there. So that number.
Even with the closings, you'll notice.
Well, there's always this
Yeah.
lagging from when they actually close until agents actually record them into the system. So it's a little bit lagging. I suspect that 89 is probably a little stronger than 89 if we take a look at it by later on today when some folks start waking up, having their coffee, and recording their sales.
Keith Smith, guys.
What are you
He
doing
is,
this weekend?
Family time. We have absolutely tried to play squash every day. I have my in-laws coming either Saturday or Sunday
for you.
from New York. They'll be here for a few weeks at our house.
Good for you.
May sit poolside, which I'm looking forward to. My wife and I have dinner plans on Monday evening. So we'll be out and about on Monday for happy hour and some dinner plans.
Cool.
Life is good. Kids are good. Kids are happy.
Good. So obviously,
Our youngest is potty training. He's figuring it out, which is
ooh,
good.
how's that going?
He's figured it out. I mean, he's peed in his Play-Doh. He's peed on the carpet.
Play-Doh?
Yeah, he's peed on his play kitchen. He peed
Did you
on.
just say Play-Doh?
Oh, Play-Doh. Yeah, he peed on the family dog Max. But of course, potty training is going well. Takes his pants off, runs around buck-ass naked all over the house. Judah saw that the other day. Zach, buck-ass naked running around our house. Did you not see that?
Isn't it amazing?
I saw some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came running out when I dropped you off. It
Is
was like, hey,
Literally a nudist. Our
naked
son.
time.
Isn't
Yeah.
it amazing how 2 children from the same set of parents can be completely different?
Well, there's a 5-year age gap between the two. Our oldest is about to be 8. Our youngest is 3 and change. And our oldest is they're both amazing. We love our children
Oh, yeah.
dearly, love them
Beautiful,
equally.
beautiful, beautiful people.
Yeah, love them absolutely equally.
But they're different people.
completely
though.
different.
And it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You would.
Youngest relishes trouble. The youngest is a force of
So he's
nature.
taken after you.
The youngest is fearless. He's a relishes trouble, loves trouble. He's a force of nature. He is. There's not a sensitive bone in his body. He is it's interesting. I never worry about him in the least.
But Trey?
He's a little bit more sensitive.
Yeah.
You know, his emotional intelligence is off the charts.
So that's.
It's the quintessential firstborn.
I was about to say. Yeah,
and second one. Especially when there's a gap of 5
Because I'm the
years.
first of 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Especially when there's a gap of 5 years and the second one looks up to the first.
Yeah.
The first grew up during COVID where he had constant hands-on parental attention.
Yeah. Different world now.
It was a different world. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now the youngest is running around buck-ass naked around the house. Wild times.
Yeah, I believe he's gonna. You just take a look at you, and that's how you got to raise this kid, and that. But yeah, I could tell by looking at him. Well, hey, oh God, look at that, 11:22.
You crushed it today.
Thank you. I love the shows, and we don't have much planned. Next Friday, I'm working on somebody sitting in here. I'll let you know if you can help me out. But I'm really excited about the 20th. This is all this conversation we were having. I really want to have this with 3 chair folks from 3 separate jurisdictions, and we're going to keep this going once a month.
I love it.
So in April, we're going to have 3 different elected officials at the table. We'll be closer to that point. I'm trying to work on more Albemarle and Charlottesville-centric round table, so we'll be close at the budget getting approved and rates being set, and then they can move on for the rest of their year. You know, just a shout out to the elected officials, right? And I do this every year. It's a
thankless.
It's a thankless job. You know, it is hard to do. You know, these folks show up, and I know most of them personally. They show up, they do the very best they can. They may have different opinions than you and me might have, or other folks, but give them credit. They're showing up and doing the best they can. And most of those that I know, they put in extra 40 hours on top of what their normal work day would be to get there. So be a little kind to them. You can argue with them and you can disagree with them, but be a little kind to them.
Keith Smith. Yes Realty Partners is who you should contact. Yes Realty Partners for anything buying and selling related. They will help you get to the closing table and beyond. Judah Whitcower behind the camera. Thank you kindly for joining us on Real Talk with Keith Smith.
I got Judah to left this year. This show.
Multiple times.
There you go.
Multiple times. Look
Have
at
a good
that.
weekend, everybody.
You guys take care. So long. Nicely done.